Peace, y'all. Greetings. What's up, everybody? It's the God Jah Born, live and direct from Maker's Gym in Frisco, Texas. It's a beautiful place, full of creatives, so much activity with great atmosphere, and a great place to be to discuss what I'm talking about tonight. All right. And if you don't know who I am, once again, my name is Jah Born. I am a music producer. I'm also a professional musician and a drum machinist. I guess you could say my greatest work and what I'm most known for is I produced a song for Erica Badu, and the name of that song is called "On and On." You probably remember that from the '90s, or your parents might remember that song. But it was her very first single, and blessings came. She got a Grammy for that. And I guess you could say I received a Grammy for that as well. So that's my most notable work. I've done tons of work across the industry, in and out of the studio for various artists, um, from Will Smith, Scarface, Lil Wayne, Raheem Devon, Snoop Dogg. And there's some other names. I worked with RZA as well from Wu-Tang Clan. So there's some pretty notable artists on my resume, and I've also played in live bands. I was once a part of Erica Badu's electronic musical collective called the Cannabinoids, which featured a great group of producers that some of them you know very well: R.C. Williams, S1, Picnic, Rob Free, DJ A1, DJ Big Texas. Those are my brothers, and we toured as a cannabinoid. So I've had a lot of experience on stage. Also, my brother R.C. Williams, I'm in a band with him and been working with him and R.C. and the Grits for a lot of years. I'm also blessed to have toured with RZA and done work on his last album, as a matter of fact. So this is kind of a quick, glance of my bio. And I've had a great opportunity to be able to go and be in different environments across the world and learn about the music business from even in the old days to now, to the modern days, and the way that we go about marketing and expressing our music in this day. I've been blessed to be able to have the opportunities to be in the environments and learn, and I definitely want to share some info with y'all today. I know there's a lot of burning questions out there with young artists that are beginners and just getting into the creative music world. And a lot of people want to know how do I make money off of my music? How do I monetize my music? How do I make this music hobby of mine profitable? And I've got some insight for you guys. I'm ready to dive in. So let's get it, y'all. Monetizing your music is our subject today, and I'm ready to dive in. So let's talk about that. All right. And okay, so we've got this thing we want to do. We want to make money off of our music, right? So there's some things that you need to do to be prepared, or to prepare your music for to be distributed or to be sold. Okay. All right, beginners. The first most general basic thing that I want to teach you today is to get your songs professionally mixed and mastered. Okay, you're gonna give your music a better chance of being liked by the listener if the quality of it is good. All right, and a lot of the distributors are gonna have a requirement in regards to the resolution that they want the music that they distribute to be at. Okay, so mixing and mastering will definitely put you in a position to submit your music correctly as the distributors like it. And you want that bass to be heavy, you want that mix to be nice and crispy, and the people will have a better chance of liking it. Okay, so there's that. Make sure your music is professionally mixed and mastered. And when you get your master, okay, get a wave file. All right. The distributors of music typically do not accept anything other than a WAV file. Some of them they accept MP3s, which is fine, but just know this: the WAV files are actually a higher resolution than the MP3s. The MP3s are compressed. That does take away from the quality somewhat. So you want to get your songs uploaded or submitted to the distributor in WAV file format if you can. All right, so get your master in WAV file format, guys. All right, next thing I wanted to talk about was the song or album cover. Okay, now we all want to have really good graphics, right? When we're putting this music out, that's cool. You can utilize apps on your phone to create covers, like Cover Art Studio is one. And make sure that you're getting your graphics at 3000 by 3000. Okay, the distributors will accept that. And you can upload that as an album cover. Same thing with like SoundCloud and some of the other services. You want to give them the best quality picture, and 3000 by 3000 is about the minimum resolution that you want to work with. When you're uploading your song covers or your album covers to the distributor. Okay. I also wanted to talk about this. Decide on which distributor you're going to use. All right. So if you're surfing the web, you're looking for a distributor, you'll run into somebody like DistroKid or TuneCore or CD Baby or United Masters or Symphonic. Those are distributors of music. And what they do is they have access to place music in all of the internet streaming services and stores. Okay, so they're the folks who get your music out there to the stores. All right. So each distributor has, they've got their own amenities if you join. All right. Some have better prices than the other. Some offer better services or more services or different services than the other. So you want to make sure that you're doing as much research as you can on the distributor that you're looking to put your music out through. Make sure that you see what they offer and how it can help you. There are some marketing tools on these distributors' websites. They allow you to do things like create, like for example, you can create like promotional cards that you can put in your Instagram stories and stuff like that and share your releases with people. They also have access to other services as well, and analytics. And you definitely want to be able to look at your numbers. I advise doing that, even if your numbers aren't that high. Just keep an eye on them, just so you know how your music is doing. And you can do all that with the distributor, of course. They should be offering analytics and stat view on their sites for you. All right. One big tip that I want to offer you guys, though, here is if you want to ensure that your music is released on the day that you want it to be out, get your music uploaded about a month ahead of the release day. Okay, guys? What that does for you is that ensures that the distributor has enough time to get your product placed in all of the internet streaming services and stores. Okay? So a month is about ample time, and that's what they ask. Okay? Now, some of the things that some of the mistakes that could happen when people upload music is they upload it too late and it only makes it into one store. Like, for example, you upload a song, for release tomorrow, and tomorrow it's only on Spotify. It's not in Apple Music. It's not in Amazon, stuff like that. So to avoid that problem, because not everybody is on the same streaming service or platform, you want to give the distributor about a month to guarantee that your music is placed in all of the stores that they say that they supply to. Okay. The other thing I wanted to recommend is this: get a pre-save link. Okay. A pre-save link will allow you to share your music with people ahead of release. All right. So on release day, boom, it's already on their playlist when they pop it up. All right. You want to promote your music, right? Well, don't wait until the last minute, even though better late than never is a saying that people say. You know, you want to get your pre-save page ready to rock and roll when you have your album or your music uploaded. Share that with your friends and family, and on release day, you've got an audience waiting or that already has your music in their playlist. Okay. Um, Also, a link tree can serve you well in that aspect. You know, Linktree is very popular these days, and any of these link websites that actually let you put multiple hyperlinks in one place, you know, those sites are very helpful when it comes to promoting yourself, your services, and your music. Okay, guys. So I totally recommend getting a pre-save page and sharing that pre-save page across your socials as soon as you get it. Okay, round up all your friends, family, and future fans. Okay, get them ready for your release day or with your pre-save link. And the last point I wanted to make here in prepping for your release, this is mainly for producers who are using samples. Okay, if you are using samples, all right, get your sample cleared prior to release. Okay, the reason I say that is because you know, and this is from experience. All right, you don't want to run into those problems later down the road. All right, you want to get things done right ahead of time so you don't get sued and you'll end up spending a lot more money than you initially planned to clear a sample if you get sued or if there's any legal issue down the road. All right, so get as much done, you know, prior to release or right at the moment of release that you can. All right, don't wait until after to do all of your work, all of the work. Okay, guys, you want to focus on other things when you get further down the road. Okay, so those are my notes for prepping your music for release. All right, now let's talk about let's move on a little bit, guys. Our next subject today is what happens after you get your music uploaded. Okay, and this is to register your song or your work with a performing rights organization. Okay, now folks ask, what is a PRO? All right, a performing rights organization collects your royalties for song uses on TV networks, online, digital streaming, and some performances. So they go out and get your money, guys. Okay, if your song gets picked up, if your song is on Dancing with the Stars, okay, the PRO is going to get your money and pay you. They're going to get the money that Dancing with the Stars pays to be able to use your song, and then they give that money to you. All right. So you definitely want to get registered with the PRO, and if you want to know who are some of the performing rights organizations, BMI, ASCAP, and these are abbreviations, guys, by the way. These are abbreviations, okay? BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, and Song Trust is another organization, all right? Just like with the distributors, the PROs also have different advantages, so, you know, depending on who you go with. They have different paydays, you know, or should I say they have different rates that they pay. Some of them pay every month, some of them pay every 6 weeks or what have you. Okay, so you want to do the research on the PRO that fits your life, your needs the best. Okay, I personally go with ASCAP. I've been with ASCAP since 1997. And I like the way that they provide information to me analytically. Their website is easy to navigate, and they've always been pretty easy to contact when I have questions. And that was pre-internet, pre-social media, and post. So that's why I prefer ASCAP, and I love their paydays. Their paydays work with me monthly. So, you're not gonna be mad at getting paid all every month. Who's mad at that? Getting that with that monthly check. Let's get it. So So I rock with ASCAP and 1-800-952-7227. If you have any questions, hit them up. I know a lot of artists that work with BMI. Just like every song that I register that I drop, there's at least one writer that's a BMI writer. So there's that. I've worked with CSAC writers before. I also want to talk about Song Trust, guys. All right. So as you can see in this first point that I'm making here, Song Trust is listed. All right. And what Song Trust does is they actually, once you register with them, they and you upload your songs, they actually register your songs with SoundScan, and they know how to get your money in a whole bunch of different places. They cover a lot of grounds, whereas the individual PRO just may cover X amount of ground. Okay, so I recommend that if you sign with the PRO, then you also sign with Song Trust. Okay, and you will just go to their website, and you key in, after you register, and you register your work after that. So your quote unquote work is your song, right? And then you'll have to key in some information. All right. That information that you're keying in is very essential, because that information is going to include the name of the song, of course. You're gonna need to get some numbers from your distributor, like the ISRC code. Remember that. ISRC code. Okay, so you'll need that information. You'll need all of the writers' information as well. So if you got a collaboration or a song that you've done with multiple people, then of course you'll need, when you register these songs, you'll need to provide their names. You'll need to provide their what they call IPI number. All right, listen closely, guys, because this is how you complete a song registration and get to monetize your music. Okay. You'll need names and IPI numbers for every collaborator on the song, okay? And then you will have to key in what they call song splits, okay? So as you're registering your song, you'll be on the site, and you'll have to put in a percentage split. All right, that split is basically the money cut. They're taking this much money of this, or this percentage of the money or the cut on this song. So if you split it with 50-50 with somebody, you guys agree to that split, you'll go into your site or to your PRO's website when you register the song, you'll put that information in there. And there's some other just simple stuff that you will have to key in along the way. So there's that, and you want to have all that information ready. One of the biggest holdups on people getting their money in this industry of music is there's a lack of information provided to these PROs, and so artists, young artists, make sure that you get all that information ready when you're registering your music. Okay, have a list of all the writers, get their names. So if they're singing under a name that's an artist name, you got to put their real name in on the on the website, guys. Okay, so you got to find out what their real name is. And they also they'll have to have what you call an IPI number. Remember that. Very useful information to help you get through these song registrations pretty easy and quickly. Okay. Also, this one right here is major. Okay. Next point here is register your song with the U.S. Copyright Office. All right. All your works should be registered with the U.S. Copyright Office. Okay. That process, it's a little more tedious than going to the PRO. But once you get through that, you're protecting your work. Okay, your intellectual property has a layer of protection once you copyright it. Okay, and you'll need that, especially when it comes to licensing in the future, stuff like that. Okay, so and another one that a lot of artists forget, another site, PRO type website, is Sound Exchange. Okay, and Sound Exchange, they also go and get money from other places that some of the PROs and even Song Trust is not able to get your money from. So when you get your music registered with all of these sites, then what you're doing is you're covering grounds. You're covering all the landscape and all the territory where your song could be making money. All right, and they will pay you. All right, if your song's making money. All right. So let's move on to the next point, guys. Today, and this one is major, y'all. Major. Okay. The burning questions, right? How do I market my music? How do I find out how my music is doing? Man, that's a great question. All right. So marketing and analytics is our next topic here, and first thing I want to say is analytics are essential to the music marketing and monetization process. Yes. You want to see how your music is doing, where it's performing, who's listening, the age demographic. That information is key, especially when you want to come up with your marketing plan. All right. So you can obtain analytics. Great. You can obtain it through your distributor, because your distributor will provide. And then there are some other ways to obtain analytics. So right here, I got on the screen. This is Spotify for Artists. This is the home or the dashboard for Spotify for Artists. All right. Spotify for Artists will allow you to see different types of analytics on your song. So, for example, like I could look at, how many listeners the song is getting, or I'm getting as an artist on all my work, how many streams I got, how many followers I have, on this particular streaming service. And you can look at your songs to see how they're doing. You can see what playlists are playing your songs. So, for example, here we've got this particular track. It's called Ocean. And I can see how the song is performing. Got my all-time numbers, and then I've got these other numbers here that are available to show me where my song is playing, and how many plays I'm getting. This information is so useful. Okay, say you want to market your music, right? You want to market. You want to know where to market your music to get to make sales, right? Well, when you have this location information and you have some of the analytic information they provide here, like let's see what we got under the listener screen, tab. Let's see what we got here. Like this information that can be helpful when it comes to marketing your music. So like I've got this screen here that tells me the demographics of my audience, okay? Right, so there's that, and then I have another screen that tells me the location of where they at. So now that I know that if I want to target a specific area and market my music, I can target that area based off of how many listeners are in that area and who's listening. Okay, so those analytics will help you. All right. Plus, a lot of young artists, a lot of you artists want to know, is anybody listening? Well, who is it? Is it grandma and them listening to my music? Or is it my little nephew and them aged people listening to my music? Well, I just showed it to you. You can see your age demographic there, okay? And that being said, I want you guys to go and claim and register your artist accounts across the board, okay? So Spotify does have artist account site. So does Apple Music. I know that Amazon also has an Amazon for Artists. Not sure if Tidal and some of the other services have gotten that yet. Well, the sites that I just named do. All right. Get your artist account. All right. Even if you're not a big fan of what the streaming services pay, doesn't even matter, guys. If you're not a big fan of what they pay, and I'm not, but the information that's in these artist sites help me when I'm looking to not only see how my music is doing, but develop a marketing plan to grow my business, to grow my music business. So at a glance, this helps me. And I totally suggest that you do that you join these sites. Now, if you want to get your analytics all in one place. You can do that by going to muso.ai. Okay. Now, muso.ai allows me to see how my music is performing across all the services, and it shows us in one place. Very convenient. Here's like an example. You see a lot of big artists with the muso.ai accounts, and at the end of the year, they might put up their millions of plays screenshot on the screen. So, but you know, if the big dogs are using this type of service to look at their numbers, then I'm gonna go ahead and use it too. So, and I do, and it's a great service. So muso.ai, if you want to see your YouTube, your Spotify, you know, your SoundCloud, your TikTok, Amazon, all those numbers in one place. There's that, okay, guys. And I also wanted to talk about some other tools to help you with marketing and analytics. All right. So get your notepads out, guys, because this is gold. All right. Do you know that there are services that actually give you access to real bloggers, record label representatives, and playlisters? There's a couple sites I'm gonna throw at you guys. Okay. When you're marketing your music, you want to have a plan, and I know a lot of people don't have a lot of money to start off. So if you're starting off with a lower budget, then I would recommend going to a website like submithub.com. Okay, it gives you access to playlisters, labels, gives you access to people who are curators that are placing music, okay? And for a very small amount of money, backed by even further discounts or coupon codes they usually post, you can go in and actually submit your music to them and get real responses from real human beings. Okay, so if you want to give your song a chance to get heard, I suggest going to a website like submithub.com or groover.co, okay? And you get access to curators to promote your music. A lot of the blogs will hit you right back and they say, "Hey, I like your song," or "I don't," or the mix is good, or the song doesn't fit on my site, or it does, or whatever. But you know, it's a good way to gauge, you know, or well, not just gauge, but to market your music and then gauge the response, the feedback it's getting from real people. You can get real feedback, guys, and that helps when you're developing your product. Okay, so I totally recommend that you know, when you get your music registered, uploaded, and it's out, and you're ready to promote it, that you start off, if your budget is low, with some of these type of websites like submithub.com and Groover. Okay. And I'm actually a curator with Groover. I'm not a curator with SubmitHub. I do curate music there. So there's another avenue as well for creatives. If you know, you can make a little extra money on the side by being a curator as well. Okay, so you know, so just put that one in your back pocket on your journey to monetize your music. Yeah, so there's that. All right, guys. Marketing and analytics. So many tools out there. So many ways to get the info you need to market your music, to grow your brand and make money. Okay, and which leads me to the next subject, and that is other ways to make money doing, or let's just say other ways to make money other than streaming, you know, with your music. All right, guys, guys and gals. So there are several methods. You know, one of the most popular methods these days is NFT, to take your music, combine it with art, find a platform and sell your music as NFT. And, you know, I'm not going to say whether I recommend it or not, because I'm not the most educated at NFTs. You can find tons of NFT information on how to develop and create those online and how to make it profitable. But I can say this. that yes, that is a very great form or way or option to have if you want to monetize your music. Okay, the NFTs work very well as an option. Okay, another option would be like Bandcamp. Bandcamp is great. I have a Bandcamp page. Not the most popular of services. You know, a lot of people go get the music for free these days. But you know what? You can't find everything on Spotify and Apple Music. You know, the exclusive stuff is what we want access to, right? We want to get access to the stuff that you can't get on those websites, and a lot of artists offer that on Bandcamp. Also, you can get support and raise money for your projects through sites like Bandcamp. You know, it's a great place to just to place your song, and people will go. They can buy your songs for 99 cents. They can buy your album for $6.99, $7.99, or whatever you determine the price to be. So there's that. Also, let me see. Let me think of another way to make music. And do I have that slide up somewhere accessible as well? Let me see. I don't necessarily have that slide up because I did want to give you guys some more notes regarding this music monetization. So we do have some more outlets here, and give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Merch. Okay, so merchandise is one of the ways that I recommend to push your brand. Okay, so you have music out, you got a great logo, you got a good album cover, you got a few people that like you. All right, they think your music is cool, they like your look, they like your image, they rock with you, right? Okay, get merch, get your t-shirts done, get your coffee mugs, get your baseball hats, get your wristbands. You know, get merch with your label, with your logo on it, and your product on it, and share that with the people. And it's a great way to turn your music into money. Okay, merch is one of the best ways one of the ways that I look at artists, and I say that artist is official, that they've gone to the next level. And I'm really, man, to be honest with you, I'm apt to support an artist that has merch. You know, I'll go and drop the $20 on a t-shirt. I'm the t-shirt king from supporting artists that have merch. All right, and I'm sure that you guys in your collections, somebody's got a t-shirt with their favorite band or something on it, you know, or there may be a Dallas Cowboy cup which has a logo on it, and your go Cowboys, by the way, but there's a Dallas Cowboy logo in your pantry, in your cup cabinet, or there's you know, something like that. A logo is somewhere in your house on a t-shirt, on something. All right, somebody, you had to buy that, right? Okay, cool. Put your product, your logo, your imagery on merch. Okay, and that's a way you can monetize your music. Also, TikTok and Instagram Reels. Yes, TikTok and Instagram Reels. And I'm going to tell you, when I look up my analytic numbers, I have a revenue stream that's coming from TikTok, guys. Okay? On songs that I produced. Okay? Yes, your music can be played on these apps. When you go, or let me give you an example. When you go to Instagram and you put up a post and you want to add music to the post, now you go and you add music, and that song is easily accessible, and now you can have a reel with music on it. All right, guess what? The artist gets credit for that. Whenever a play comes off of these streaming services, whether it be Spotify or whether it be Instagram, any usage of your music is, if you're eligible for monetization, you're gonna get paid. Okay. Also, it gives you an opportunity to present more content than just a song. Okay, so you can go on your social media services, promote your music, but also know that when you create your music, that you can also have content to go with it, and all of that adds to the pie. Okay. If you are anti reels on Instagram and anti TikTok, let that go, guys. Because right now, if you want to monetize your music, you will likely have to use that tool to get to your goal. Okay. So yes, assign video content to your music. All right. The video content gives your music more value. Okay. And people like to engage with music in more than just one way. Like, we also like to visually engage with music. So we use these sites. We like to watch videos. We look at the videos that pop up on Spotify. I forgot, they call them canvases, stuff like that. Those add value to the music, and it makes it a more of an experience than just a song, guys. Give us more content um, to help sell your music. Give us content that sells your music, guys. Okay. So there's that. All right. And one of the next points I wanted to talk about with monetizing your music is, okay. So the conventional method this day and age is to take your phone and listen to the song, right? Or go on your computer, right? Well, there are a lot of artists that are monetizing their music the old-fashioned way. And that is by putting it on CDs, cassettes, vinyl, okay? I, as a music enthusiast, I love to collect music, man. I love the vinyl. I love it. I love having a vinyl record. It's like a collector's item. And whereas something digital, you can hit the delete button on your computer or your phone and it's gone forever. But the vinyl or the cassette is a token. It's something that you can have as a collectible, and it holds somewhat value. You can sell it. Okay, so I would recommend, especially to some of the artists that are into the retro styles of music, to monetize your music in more ways than just digitally. All right, get something tangible with your music on it to promote with. So yeah, or to sell your music with. So yes, you can monetize with a CD. Yes, people are still listening to CDs. Oh, there's been a whole revolution of people getting cassette tapes these days and vinyls. That's a way you can monetize your music, and I suggest that as artists, get it done. Do that, all right? And you can you can set up your own internet store and sell your product that way as well. All right. Which we're gonna get to next. Website or internet marketplace. All right. So whatever form your music is in, whether it's an MP3 or it's digital or it's an analog form, an internet marketplace is a very good place to go to sell your music. You could go and post a link online and say, my new album is exclusive, is here. Get it before release, and you could have them come to your site and buy it there. You make the money. You see what I'm saying? You can sell your merch there. All right. You could have your vinyls there. You could have your T-shirts there. I totally recommend getting an internet marketplace set up if you want to monetize your music. And it also kind of sort of legitimizes your business. A lot of us don't go out of the house to do shopping. A lot of us shop in the house. And, we look at storefronts online like people look at storefronts that they drive by out in the world. Okay, so, we tend to look at you and take you more seriously as an artist when you have a store set up, or a way that we could come and not only buy your product, but look into your life and career and see what other services you offer and, access information about you. So The definite internet storefront is it's a must. It's a must have option. Uh, get it done. Okay, guys. Next, I wanted to talk about offering subscriptions for exclusive music content. All right, now in this note, I know I put OnlyFans in there. It's just a joke, guys. Okay, but actually, I'm no, it's not a joke. I put it in there to make a point. All right, these services that offer subscriptions are giving you guys a platform to present exclusive content and make money off of it. Okay, um, you know, and let me tell you something, guys. I'm gonna pull up this stream or this screen right here, or just scroll up. Let me see what we have here. You see these pay rates from the streaming companies? Let's just look at these real quick. Deezer paying, fractions on the penny. Pandora, fractions on the penny. YouTube and Spotify, geez, as popular as they are, as much money as they make, fractions on the penny. Amazon Music, I dig Amazon a little bit, but they ain't paying enough. Apple Music, we all love Apple. Apple, come on, Apple. As many MacBooks and iPhones as y'all sell, and you only paying that amount? Come on, guys. Tidal is one of the favorites, artist favorites out here. Still paying pennies on the dollar, but at least they're offering more than the other services. But knowing that the streaming rates are not paying like they should, then we should be looking at the other options, okay? And the other options are to go with services that allow you to present your content for subscription. Okay, so say you got a new song that you want to drop, but you don't want to drop it. You want to present this as something exclusive to your fans that subscribe only. And so you could do that through some of these sites. I know that Patreon is another way to, and similar sites like Patreon or other ways that you can round up and get people to come and spend money with you for your music. So those are ways that you can do that. And give them exclusive content as well. You can provide not just music but videos, whatever, stuff like that. You guys know what those sites are for, and you know what the OnlyFans and the Ko-Fi and Patreon and some of these sites are for. Use that to your advantage, okay? All right, so another point I wanted to talk about, and this one goes for the artists that are looking to get their songs placed in, movies. We call it sync placement, something like that. Placement stuff. Man, that is one of the most challenging obstacle, or one of the most challenging things about getting your music out there. Is like, you want to get it out, you want to get it in a movie soundtrack. Everybody has that dream. They want to get their song on a Netflix special. I get it. I totally get it. So that's going to be an option for you. Now, how do you get an alignment, or how do you get your music placed in some of these situations, like on these Netflix specials? Well, there's a couple different ways, and really, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's most of the people that I know, a lot of their music gets placed automatically. They'll drop something, and then out of nowhere, it'll get picked up. Because it's part of a library, or it's out and it just got picked up. So what I recommend is this: find out the services that are actually placing songs in these commercials and these movies. Okay. You also want to know a producer, if you're an artist, that has those plugs, that has the plug on a placement with a placement agency. Somebody that knows how to structure the songs for placement. Okay. So you want to have or get with a network of songwriters and producers that are connected into the placement world. Okay. And that's kind of like your open door into that arena. And man, I'm gonna be honest with you. The placements pay better than these rates that I just showed you that the streaming services are paying. Okay, so if you want to set a goal for yourself to make money in the industry of music, you definitely want to look past streaming. Okay, your marketing plan could not be about getting on playlists only and streaming. Okay, your marketing plan has to include getting your name out there enough to where you can get your music heard in places outside of Spotify. Okay, get your network on. Your city, your state. You don't even really need to get out in your city or your state. You can get on your laptops and your computers, and you can find ways to get your music heard and placed with some of these services. And there's tons of services that do it. I recommend really getting with somebody that knows how to format music for placement. Somebody that has a plug that could walk you in, especially if you're an artist with a good voice. That these services and these placement folks, they gotta have the music formatted a specific way so it fits, in their movie or for whatever purpose that they are looking to place the music. All right, so I want you all to look at that as a viable option and a way to make money. Okay, because once again, the streaming services are not going to pay you dearly for the music that you put out, unless you have millions and millions of streams. Okay, so yeah, y'all, make that happen. Go find out who your sync agent is. Go find out which producers in your town that got the plug on placements. Go find out what songwriters are linked up in that network. Build those relationships. Cultivate the relationships, guys. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about today as well. You can always dream about monetizing your music, okay? It's not going to be easy without a network, okay? So, one of the main things that I tell all of the folks that I teach when I start my classes is I tell them to get their resource base built up, okay? And there's tons of ways for you to get your resource base built. Word of mouth, of course, or going on social media, doing that, all that is cool. There's an app called Artist Connect. By the way, y'all, Artist Connect is an app where creatives come and they can be accessed. So if you need a videographer, you can go there. You can find one. There's also Maker's Gym. Where I'm at right now. Maker's Gym is a haven of creatives, and this is a base. Where I'm at right now is a base that's rich with different types of creatives. You've got photographers, you've got videographers, you've got folks that just have a general working knowledge of music. You've got creative directors here. You've got podcasters. And these are all of the names all of the titles I just said are essential, guys, to monetizing your music, making it monetizable. And one of the great things about the place that I'm at is that it's a rich base for what I just spoke on. Creatives, period. You know what I'm saying? Get your resource bases built. All right. Make sure that you make a list of all of the resources you need and put a name next to that. All right. Next thing you want to do after you get those names and those people, build the relationships, guys. Build the relationship. If your music is selling at a store, your vinyls are selling at a store, make sure you're cultivating and building and keeping the relationship, maintained with the vendors, okay? Make sure that you're keeping your relationships maintained with the people who you may need in the future. Don't wait to call them when you need them, because you want to, keep tabs on the folks that you need, man. You know what I'm saying? Stay in contact with them. Check on them. Stop by the shop. Go by the show. Congratulate them when they need to be when they can be congratulated. Tell them happy birthday on their birthday. But treat people like how you want to be treated on your path up. All right. Make sure you're shaking the right hands. Make sure you're kissing babies along the way, and get your Rolodex, get your numbers and your contact base full, and work your contacts. All right, guys. That's really the way to get to get your resources and to have everything at the just close reach that you need. Okay, and so that's definitely something I wanted to talk about with you guys today, in monetizing your music. And I'm gonna tell you one of the ways that a lot of us artists get our bread, get that money, is to get live shows. Guys, if you're an artist, you want to be visible and accessible, right? You want the people to hear your music. Well, what not a better way than to present it live, okay? It's a good way to corral your audience and get them in one place. It's a good way to grow your audience. Um, it's a good way to build a relationship with your audience as well. I know not every city and state in the U.S. has a venue. You know, keep that in your on your list of goals. All right. Present your music live, whether it's a band or whether you're a rapper by yourself, or if you're a DJ, or even do what me and my good brother DJ Big Texas was doing. We was doing beat creation live on stage. We were creating beats live on stage for and the people would come every week. So for groups of people, we would just make beats live on stage, and we got paid. And it's nothing like getting paid for doing what you love to do. You see what I'm saying? So I recommend that if you're not doing live shows, at least prepare yourself to do live shows, okay? To present your music live. Rehearse. Practice. Practice makes perfect, like the old folks used to say back in the day, right? Practicing is one of the best methods of sharpening your skill, all right? And making yourself prepared for the task at hand. Practice. And when I say practice, I don't necessarily mean going to a place to rehearse or anything like that. I'm saying practice, like on a daily basis. If you're making beats, try to practice. Take notes, study. Do what you can to get better. If you're out here looking to monetize your music, you may start off and the first go around may be a fail. But keep trying, keep practicing, keep attempting at growing or becoming better, and you will. that's just how life works. So I definitely recommend that to you guys. All right, get your live shows on, but also continuously work on yourself and your craft, inside and out. From the foundations all the way up. Okay, guys, and you will win. All right. And do not take your L's as L's. Take your L's as an opportunity to learn. All right. I call it L. I just say learning. I don't even call it a loss anymore. So yeah, y'all. So there's a little information on how to monetize your music. I am open for questions if we are ready. Can you get analytics on other artists on Spotify? Actually, and okay, yes. You can, okay? Yes, you can. You can. Guess how, though? Just by going on Spotify, just a basic account will let you see how many plays a song gets, okay? You're not going to get specific information unless you go to like Muso. Muso gives you more specifics in regards to how that artist is performing. But Spotify will at least give you the amount of plays that artist is getting, okay? And any artist that allows you, okay, to be to get in their account, like for example, if you're an artist manager, Apple Music and Spotify and some of these other services allow you to set up as a manager, and you can go in and see their analytics as well. And yes, that is muso.ai. It's a website, and it's also an app as well. Muso.ai is an app. It's one of my favorite apps too. I look at it every day, man. I'm addicted to those. Any app that shows me money numbers and just numbers where there's a comma in between, or a comma and then a period after the comma, I'm there. Let's get it. I just want to see, man. Yes, you can look at our analytics of similar artists to yours. Yes. Yeah. So let me show y'all something. I keep it a bit transparent, but this is actually my numbers for my last 7 days of songs that I produced and put out as an artist myself. So this is not songs that I produce for other people. This is my own stuff that I put out as an artist. Okay, and so yeah, I've actually tied into some other accounts as well, and I can see their information there. So yeah, that's how it works. And let me see the next question. When we go to look for syncing sites or services, are there any more directed to the legal side? So are you talking? So I'm assuming that you're talking about. Are there any services that allow you to see analytics for legal purposes? Can you clarify that for me, Ms. Varsi? Because I can tell you this: the syncing sites. Oh, okay. I think I know what you mean here. Okay. The syncing sites to get synced up with movie stuff is typically just a site that will have a bunch of pictures of movies on it. You got a lot of movie pictures, and you have a contact email, and you'll have an about me statement about us and what we do, and that's pretty much it. As far as the legal aspect, that comes after that particular service has decided they want to work with you. Then they'll send a contract or something like that to you. Okay, and that contract will have their terms or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I would consider that the legal side, okay, of syncing. All right. If you were ever in question about what's on a contract, you already know. Get lawyered up. All right. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I do know of an entertainment lawyer, one of many, but I'll throw his name out there, David Small. David, if anybody calls and tells you that Jah Born sent you, you already know what to do. All right. And I'm not talking about a high five either. Anyways, but there's an example of somebody who does entertainment law and that can look over your paperwork, all right? They will throw paperwork at you. You want to monetize your music, right? Well, guess what, guys? At some point, you're going to sign some papers, okay? And, yeah, I mean, a lot of us are not, legally educated. Okay, so there are some folks that are, and I suggest that you lean on them when it comes to getting information on the contract stuff. Okay, so all right, I'm open for the next question though. Yeah, and not just in sync, but in the music world, period. There's contracts everywhere, man, and that's the way they get you. All right. Take it from me. I'm telling you, I had to get got, and I got before to learn this lesson. I took one for the team so you guys don't have to go through it, okay? All right? All right? And so, what I'm saying is this. Part of your team should be a legal advisor. Somebody that can look at papers and tell you what the heck is going on, okay? And so I'm going to take the next question here. Can David help me find out who someone is on my artist publishing? Yes. Well, if you got their name, that's a good lead. So it depends on what you mean by who someone is, okay? Because that could mean a lot of different things, okay? And so definitely define when you go into this legal person exactly who you're trying to track down and what the purpose is. Why, whatever, okay? So there is that. Also, this also kind of boils back to what I was saying earlier, okay? When you do songs, guys, make sure that you are taking roll or taking notes or getting an account of who is on your song with you. Get their names. All right, and make sure that you have an understanding of what their role is and that they have an understanding of what their role is, okay? And some of the legal things or some of the issues that happen further down the road could be prevented by just some just some simple information gathering in the beginning of the process. Okay, and I see you said there is a name on my artist split that no one knows. I've actually had that happen before. I've actually had that happen before. And the company that's paying you, if you can get with a lawyer and track that down and see who it is, then if you can present that to the company that's paying you, they may in a legal fashion, there's a good chance that you can get some things changed out. Okay, so if that song is making a good amount of money, then you definitely want to go and get that clarified. Okay, if the song is not making money, that's a lot of money. I wouldn't go through all that, and it's just a waste of time spinning your wheels. Let that be a problem when you have money coming in. Okay. So if there's any other questions, I'm ready for y'all. Come with the questions, y'all. Come with the questions. And you know what, though? I did want to kind of elude back to while we're in between questions. Let's go back to something real quick. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Varsity got something. What's your advice on labels? Okay, well, I'm talking to the indie artists right now. Guys, I'm talking to the indie artists. That's who you guys are. You're the independent artists, right? Well, it depends on, you say, what's your advice on labels? I have so much advice on labels. It just depends on what category we're talking about. But I should say, as an independent artist, if you're going to sign on with a label, okay, I'm not talking about a distributor. I'm talking about a record label. If you're going to sign on with a record label, do not go into that agreement without legal protection, without somebody legal there to advise you along the way. A lot of those deals have terms that the young artists will look over because they're so excited about getting a deal and they're so excited about making money, right? But they look over, some of the things, that are presented in the paperwork, and in the long term, they're held accountable. They have to pay back some stuff. So, when it comes to approaching a record label, have somebody experienced on your team that could help translate and interpret what they're coming at you with, okay? And somebody that can say, hey, man, this ain't good. This ain't going to benefit you. Or somebody that's going to say, hey, at this stage in your career, this may be the move you want to make. This is how this will affect you now. And then in 5 or 10 years, this is what you'll be looking at. And these are your options or whatever. So you want to have somebody to walk you in to that. Never, and this, man, I cannot say this with enough feeling out of my heart, with more feeling out of my heart. Y'all, do not go and deal with any big major label without help, without somebody on your team. They will take advantage of you, okay? If you can look up and read some of the horror stories, okay, about how artists are treated out here in the world, you can find those very easily. I'm here to tell you that if they did the previous man or woman like that, then they don't have a problem with doing the next person like that. You got to have this up here to talk and deal with the big dogs, okay? So, build your team up before you do that, okay? And there's that. Let me get on this next question real quick. Can you speak on the best way to approach a distribution deal? Pros and cons. Well, it depends on the distributor. Most of the distributors are at they're like one mouse click away nowadays. Now, when you're talking about going and dealing with the higher ups, with the actual human beings, then what you want to do is make sure that you research what they offer first before you go in the building. Do not go into the building letting somebody tell you what they offer without doing some research first, okay? Know who you're dealing with, okay? You also want to look at some of the reviews and some of the stories, okay? We got so much information out here, some of the testimony, some of the stories of what some artists have experienced in dealing with the distributors, okay? It's just like going to a restaurant in town. You see a restaurant you've never been to, you want to go there and eat. Well, you're kind of concerned. Well, you look at the reviews, okay? And the reviews will tell you, and some of the people who are on the lowest grassroots level, if they've been screwed or if they benefited, they'll let you know via review, okay? So go look up the reviews, go look up the testimony, go see what some of the pros are saying about some of these distributors. I guarantee you that if you have a distributor that's on a different level than some of these digital distributors that are at arm's reach like DistroKid, if you're talking about a distributor that's on a higher level, man, I guarantee you, put it like this, guys. There's really not much more that they can offer you. I mean, than marketing. So that's really all I gotta say about that. Okay. Let me get on to the next one. Taylor Nix, in your experience and given the way the system works currently, do you consider it a better marketing plan to roll out 3 to 4 singles first, or EPs, complete albums all at once? Well, you know what I like to tell people? Study your audience, okay? It's like Taco Bell, man. Taco Bell, people like to come there and eat snacks a lot. They're not, there's a lot of tacos and snack food, So they offer their product a certain way so their consumers can, at the rate that they consume the product, you know what I'm saying? Consume it. So what I say is this: first, study your demographic, all right? See how your demographic likes to be marketed to, okay? And then hit them up like that. I know that, I like to do chill hop music, a lot of chill hop beats and beat tapes. I'll drop them. You know that the people that like to consume those tapes really don't, like the majority of them don't listen to whole albums for beats. They'll go and they'll just listen to an EP. Versus somebody just dropped an album, somebody that's an established artist drops an album with 15 songs on it, and we love it. And we skip through what we don't like and we play what we like. So make sure that you are studying your demographic. And also study other artists and that are like you in your arena, in your genre, and cross genres, and see what the response was for the way that they put out their product. I could say to you guys, because I personally, for me, I'm an EP guy. My next project is an EP. The project I'm dropping with Flower Child on Friday, that's an EP. Okay, that's how I like to do it. Easy money. What I mean by that is, it's cheap to make. You make them quick. And, hey, it's an easier way to make money. The overhead is lower. I have a better chance of making money with the low overhead on the product like that. So yeah, I want you guys to do that. This is why I stress having analytics. It's not about, looking at necessarily at how many streams you're getting or not getting. It's about looking and seeing what is your audience, who is your product going to. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. All right. It says here, best way to clear album samples. Couple ways, and I'm gonna tell you from the experience I have recently in producing music. If you're on TrackLib and your producer took a song off of TrackLib and used that sample in a song, then they have the agreements are there. Okay, so the sample clearance agreements are there, and TrackLib will walk you all the way through the process to tell you exactly what to do. So it'll walk you through all the checkpoints. If you're going to a service like Drum Broker or some of these other sites, and I'll get to Splice and LoopCloud and stuff in a minute. If you're going to some of those sites where producers are putting out kits, then typically they'll have, and I want you guys to do this, okay, producers, go and search for the licensee or the licensing agreement in the sites that you're going to. Go and search for the licensing agreement. If you're gonna drop a song with a sample, go and search in that site where you got the sample from for the agreement. Here's a hack: YouTube producers, you guys who go and get songs off of YouTube and sample from. Man, y'all better go. I would use I'll go in TrackLib, see if that same song is in TrackLib, and look for the licensing agreement there. You know what I'm saying? Find an email address, find a record company contact, look up the names of the writer names. There's total ways that you could begin your search, you know what I'm saying, on a song by just looking the writer name up online. Ace repertory search, like I go through ASCAP if I see a writer's name and I want to find out what song, the song information, or get a lead on finding a way to produce, I go to ASCAP or I'll go to my label. So there's that. And now, as far as Loop Cloud and Splice, I've used a lot of Splice, use a lot of Loop Cloud samples. Ain't no shame in my game. I get my sounds from everywhere. I will sample off of my phone. I will literally kick a doorstop and sample it, okay? Hey guys, listen. If you're using a site that is like that, that's offering subscription service samples, just be aware that your ability to make money or monetize your music could possibly be compromised due to YouTube Content ID, okay guys? So my producers out here who sampling off Splice, I suggest that you get some clarification or manipulate your music in a fashion that YouTube or streaming services Content ID will not, prevent your music. You know what I'm saying? Like, just make sure you're making your music in a way where Content ID won't be an issue. How do you find out which is the best to decide between ASCAP versus BMI? Man, you know what? I've been with ASCAP since '97, and I'm strongly considering going to BMI, even though ASCAP is so dope. You know what? Take a survey amongst you. And Taylor, I know you got a lot of creative friends. We're all with somebody. You know what I'm saying? But I think that find out who is not only registering your songs. Like, I would gauge it like this: see who's getting your songs registered quick, see who's paying you the best, and see who's most accessible to you. If you have anyone that is accessible, if you have any service that's very accessible, that's not going to have you on doing this. When you call them and it says you are the 10th person in line. Average wait time, 20 minutes. You don't want that. You want to get to somebody that's knowledgeable quick, because you got things to do, right? You gotta go. You got a life to live. So make sure you're choosing a service that fits your needs the most. I like to get paid on a monthly basis. So ASCAP has they pay their publishers, and writers on a monthly. And sometimes you get some months are 2 payments a month. So there'll be some months where you get your publishing check, your writer check the same month. And if your music is making money, hey, what not a better way to get your money twice a month instead of once. So there's that. Oh, and I would say, just out of a survey, guys, I guess for convenience, BMI is likely the best, because when you register a song with BMI, they register it as you and your publisher. Whereas ASCAP, you kind of gotta go in and you have to register for writers on one side and publishers on the other. So it's just basically keying information twice, and you have to have the publisher information, which is a whole other information grab when you're looking to get your songs done. Okay, so what kind of videos do you think stand out for most independent artists? Now, first thing I'm gonna say is this, because this is, and I hope I'm interpreting what you're saying correctly, Varsi. But you know what? Because that question is I can give you so many answers, but what I'm looking for in video when I'm making an assessment or looking to sign or just get my attention grabbed, I want quality. All right, I want a storyline that fits. All right, I want visual aesthetics that go with the storyline. All right, quality is, if we all want quality, everything. That goes without saying. But you definitely want a storyline, and you want aesthetics that are pleasing. Okay, do not use anybody else's video footage without permission in your video. Okay, so there's a lot of us that would like to, hey, we creative. I get it. But you'll use work that you haven't been given permission to, or you'll use a clip, or you'll use a logo, or you'll use a graphic or something in your video. Just make sure that before you decide to use somebody else's media or intellectual property as part of your own, that you're getting permission, because that can cause issues later down the road. Okay. But as a music producer and a person who has worked in video scenes, I like the video to make sense to me, and I don't want to have to. I want to be able to walk away from watching that video with feeling like I just was part of an experience. Okay, so those are my tips as a producer. So does Maker's Gym have the capacity for artists to do podcasts that will include live instruments? And well, that's something that yes, actually yes. All right. So you say like if I bring a drum machine and plug it in and want to play and we're doing a podcast. Yes, we have multiple sound stages up in here. All right. Um, and provide that as an option. Yes, so just like you can plug in a mic, you can also get on a podcast with an instrument as well. Here at Maker's Gym, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, Frisco, Texas. That's what we do, y'all. Yeah, and speaking of that, guys, a lot of the questions that you have about Maker's Gym can be answered by just coming here. Okay, if you go on the website, there's a section there that allows you to book a tour. Okay, and I guarantee that the tour is gonna blow you away. Okay, if you're a creative, you dream of coming to a place of work of like this and working. Okay, so make sure you go to the website. It's makersgym.com. And you can go and book a tour of the place. It's right off of Main Street in Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys. And, open during the day, normal business hours. Bring your notepad. And also research some of the services online first. I say do your research. Always do your research before you walk up in the building. I don't care if it's music or anything else. Okay, before you go up in anywhere and there's somebody that you don't know you got to talk to, do your research on them, all right? Next question. Says here, any standout tips for what not to do when monetizing your music? But I'm sure there's many. Number one standout tip not to do, don't sit on your hands and not promote your stuff, okay? If you're sitting here and you put out your music and you don't promote yourself, then it's not going to get heard. I would say that the first thing that you want to do is have a plan to promote, okay? Or at least have that as part of your plan. Promote yourself, all right? Don't put your music out and not post on social media, all right? Unless you're just doing it for a hobby, unless you like to get off work and go home and just do music. And that's fine. That's fine. That's absolutely okay. It's okay to have music as a hobby, but if you want to monetize your music, you must promote yourself. You must promote yourself. I also have maybe another tip or two here. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go out here and destroy the relationships that you built. Okay. You're building relationships. You want to monetize your music. So now this is specific Jah Born advice. Make sure that you're cultivating your relationships. Don't cuss your fans out, okay? Don't get on social media cussing your fans out. If you got 71% of your fan base is men, don't go on social media bashing men. Okay? I'm just saying, if your fan base is men, if your fan base is women, do not disrespect women. Just know how to maintain and work with your fan base, and you give yourself a better chance of monetizing your music. All right, keep the energy positive, guys. If you, stand up for yourself always in life. You want to stand up for yourself, right? But always keep the energy positive when you can. Be magnetic, okay? So yeah, that's what's up on that. You know what I'm saying? Thoughts on using multiple different producers on one album. Man, well, each album is a different scenario for me, okay? So, I love using different producers on a record. As a matter of fact, my next record has 2 other producers in me. You know what I mean? Let me talk about this on both sides of the spectrum. Okay, having multiple producers gives you a really good variation of sound. Okay, um, so like for example, Taylor, if you want to put out a song that's a house music song on the same album with an R&B song, you'll have access to a house music producer. If you have access to a good one, then use them, then get them on the record. Give your record some balance. So I think that's one of the advantages of having multiple producers. It gives your album different sound perspectives and balance. It also gives you, now let's talk about this, guys. This is what they don't talk about, but it gives you experience working with multiple producers, which gives you experience. Okay, gives you experience. Working with one producer can kind of put you in a box. Okay, I want you guys as artists to have experience working with multiple producers. Experience that, because every producer is going to have something that you can learn from, okay? So working with multiple producers gives you a shot at learning so much more, okay? Now let's talk about the advantage of working on an album with just one producer. Guess what that does, guys? That's also good, okay? One producer, it gives you a unique sound, okay? So if you're looking to have a sound that nobody else has, I'm gonna say this one more time. If you're looking to have a sound that nobody else has, then work with one producer and cultivate that sound, okay? With that one producer can give you that advantage. I know that there's a group, the Griselda Records, Benny the Butcher, West Side Gun, Conway the Machine, that family. They have a very small group of producers, and they came out the gates working with like one producer. These projects were like one producer, two producers. And out of doing that, they created a whole standard of sound for themselves. They created, really, I'm going to be honest with you, their own subgenre of hip hop that nobody else really was doing at the time. Okay. So working with one producer can give you that advantage of creating your own sound, and it's easier, as well. It's also easier when you're just working with one person, going to one studio. You know what I'm saying? So there's the advantage of, on both sides of the spectrum. There you have that. All right. Varsy's asking, can you give us some tips on when you do find out that most of your fans are men? I'm a dude. So, I mean, okay. I could speak from the record business executive standpoint. I'm talking to a lady, though. I'm talking to women. And I'm telling you about educating men, and I'm a conscious guy. Y'all ever heard of conscious rap? Y'all ever heard of knowledge of self? You know, but I can tell you this from my experience. Make sure that that you respect yourself. I would say make the stories like that in your music. Make it where we can relate. Like I could tell you one female artist that has the respect of so many men, and she's even bashing men in a lot of songs. Her name is Her. We all love her, right? Her is a great example of how to approach a male heavy audience, and keep us entertained. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna come to Maker's Gym and say keep it sexy, because I don't want to do that. That opens up a whole can of worms. But what I do want to say is, when you're confident as a woman, female artist, and you treat yourself like gold without being stuck up, but you're confident, and your music is relatable to, and you talking to us, you talking to our heart, and I think that's one of the best ways to come at us, okay? And make your promotions direct, okay? Make your promotions direct and inclusive, okay? To men. So when you're talking to the world and you're promoting, you want to use your catchphrases and your words that you use, your marketing phrases should be inclusive, like where we all feel included and drawn in as men, women, and children. Okay, so there's that. And let me go to the next. I know we're about to be running short on time here. what's their take on using different engineers? Oh, man, I just used two on my last project. Great question. You know what? As long as those engineers are able to, or let me stop. Okay. As long as one engineer can work with the other engineer to set up where your album is mastered and sounding beautiful at mastering stage, yes. But you know what? I would say that you have to, that on a project like that, that you somehow keep those engineers linked together, whether communicating with each other at some point, even if it's in the mastering phase. Okay. I like using two engineers because it also gives us more perspective. It gives us more individuals to learn from. Um, and I actually advocate that as well. As a producer, I like to learn about the technical aspect of music. Okay, and I do know that that I can find out more by having more sources to get it. Okay, also different engineers can tell you more about your music from different perspectives as well. Okay. I love the input from them, and that's why I recommend using multiple engineers. It's just me personally. There's some other producers that may disagree, though. All right, and I've got another question. Oh, here we go. Can you give us the website for the bloggers and curators? Right, okay. There's two sites that I work with. The Jah Born verified, okay? Meaning that you get real human responses, not bots, not that, you know what's out there. People who like to fraud other people. These are real people, okay? The sites are, all right, get your pens and pads out. It is submithub.com and groover.co, okay? When you go onto the home pages of the site, music promotion should be words that you see immediately. Okay? So there's that. All right. And by the way, in those sites, there are different sections. All right. Now, before you contact a blogger, a label, or a curator, or a playlister, make sure you do your research. Make sure you're doing your research on these curators and these bloggers. If you're going to submit for a playlist, go to listen to that playlist first. Go see if that playlist is actually playing your style of music. You don't want to spend money to promote or get at a playlister and you send them a hip hop song and all they play is house music. Then guess what? They got your money. You didn't get the placement, guys. You see what I'm saying? So make sure that you do your research. I tell you that before you walk up in anybody's door anywhere, all right, or before you go to a website to push or promote your music. The the bloggers, go to their blog and make sure that they're covering your genre or style of music. Do not go and write bloggers who are not covering, dubstep. Don't contact them if they're not covering dubstep and you're a dubstep artist or producer. Okay, so there's your two sites: Submit Hub and Groover. Okay. Next question is tips on identifying resources for backing or investors in a startup situation. Well, you've got your Kickstarter sites. It starts off with a simple Google search. It starts with going down the I call it the hashtag rabbit hole. Um, the most simple like resources for like backers, investors, sponsors, that you're gonna find. Basically, at these hip hop shows, there are representatives, and they're everywhere, and that's going to be your open door or your gateway to find that information. So you want to go to the sponsor or to the website you're looking for a sponsor at. Go to the contact me station and say, hey, I'm looking for a backer. I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the backers that have come at me, the investors, they've come at me in face-to-face talk. I've gotten some emails. I've never really had to approach somebody to back me. They usually come at me because I have work that's out there. I don't want to speak from the aspect of a person who's out here trying to get heard because it's just so many different ways that they come. Also, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm an assertive guy. So when I see people with logos or when I see company names or at an event, I'm liable just to go walk up and shake a hand, tell them who I am, and get a contact number or something. Use your resource skills. And Taylor, you got plenty of resource skills. You're in some of the most uh, like resource heavy events that I wish that I could be at, because there are tons of hands to shake, tons of babies to hug at these events. All right. So yep, that's what's up with that. And I got another question here. It says, and I got 10 minutes. It says, is it more expensive to have more people? Whoa. Is it more expensive to have more people on your project? And is it financially smart to limit the amount of people on your project? Well, when you say people, okay, yes, it is. Yes, anytime that you have more people working on in a staff anywhere, it's gonna be it's gonna be more expensive from all aspects. Even if you have, like, if you got 3 rappers on a song, it's gonna take more time to get everybody tracked. It's gonna cost more money for the studio time, etc. Down the road, you have to pay more people, on the back end, which means you make less money. And you pay more people, that means it's more expensive. so, so there's that. Is it financially smart to limit the amount of people? So, balance in assessing how when you're building a staff, you want to balance out that you want to get people that are willing to do a little bit more than what their actual skill set is or what their job title is. Okay, and so yeah, it is financially smart, but if you're going to work with a smaller team, then the team members have to be willing to do more, okay, and cover more ground, and they have to be okay with that, understand that. I recommend that you get even an agreement written that says, hey, this is going to be your role. Because if you're looking to make things more financially smart, then you also want that understanding to be bound to paperwork as well. Because people tend to in human nature, people tend to drift a little, and when they get outside, when they roll a little bit, then they think, and then they be like, well, why am I doing this extra work, and I didn't agree to this, and those are things you don't want to have to deal with down the line. So make sure that you're getting an understanding with your team, okay, guys, and whether that's more people or less people, okay, and what you're trying to do, what your goal is. If I have a large team of people, I'm communicating with them saying, hey, guys, look, we're looking to keep the budget low. We want to get this done efficiently, and we want to get it done by this day. So, this is the understanding I have with y'all. Or if I'm working with a smaller team, I'm going to address that team, and I'm going to tell that team, hey, guys, look, we're going to be overextended at times, okay? There's going to be some days where, you're not just going to be answering emails, but you're also going to be answering the phone as well, and get people on your team that are going to be willing to do that. Get people on your team that are going to be willing to pull that extra weight, that love you, okay, and that also see your dream with you and see themselves in your dream as well. We all have agendas. We all want to be successful, okay? At some point, you're gonna have to go and be a part of somebody else's agenda to get there, okay? It's just part of life, okay? But then at some point, you'll learn how to do it on your own, okay? So, so what I'm saying is this, man. Have your ducks lined up, have an understanding with your team, have your vision and your goals clear, okay? Make your goals attainable, all right? Cut the fat out. Keep it moving, all right? Last 2 questions? Okay, last 2 questions, guys. Which one should you submit to? It says here, which one would you submit to? A curator that plays 625 songs a month or 200? Guys, if the curator is giving you a number of songs, don't go to them. They are operating what's called a phone farm. If you don't know what a phone farm is, get to know what a phone farm is, okay, guys? Those are not authentic plays, okay? Some of the curators out here that are legit actually own a phone farm because they want to hustle. They got to make money. They got to feed their children. So they have a legit site, and then they also have a phone farm that's driving their revenue. That's putting that revenue. That's building it. That's putting a cushion around what they already have. Okay, so if somebody's guaranteeing you plays, those players are not coming from real human beings and fans. Okay, now the real human beings and fans are the ones that's going to go to your website. They're the ones that's going to go to your store online, not the phone farm. Those phones are not going to do that. All right, so you want to make your engagement with real people, okay? If they're guaranteeing you plays, I'm telling you right now, guys, they're not. Those are phones that they have in a room that's all on Wi-Fi that's just running a playlist over and over again, okay? All right, and how does that benefit you? Well, you're sitting there looking, wondering how many streams you got, and you look at it and say, oh man, I got 40,000 streams in a month. And you feel good, don't you? But nobody's actually coming back to your social media, nothing like that. And then what good is paying somebody whatever for 600 streams when you're not getting the results back? When you want to see people coming to your social media pages as part of your marketing push. You want to see the returns. You want to see people coming to your internet store. Google ads, stuff like that. I forgot to say that earlier, guys. Google ads. If your business is, if Google ads has services applicable to what you're trying to do with your business, then utilize them as well. But I just wanted to throw that in as a side note. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So yeah, closing that out, guys. Go get real curators go get real curators, bloggers, and everybody. Not people who are guaranteeing a fake number they're gonna throw at you because they want your $30 a month. Man, you're not gonna see the returns you want where they need to be seen. Okay. Next question is, I know this may vary, and is this the last question? Last question, guys. And this is the best last question, too. I know this may vary, but what's the average time you think it may take to clear a sample? And we'll combine it. Is it better to attempt to clear a sample or do a song interpolation? Man, to be honest with you, depends. It depends. Like nowadays, things happen like this, and a lot of these curators have means of seeing that they have a sample and the works are being cleared. All right, so they'll get an email, they'll get an alert from an ASCAP or something that's saying that somebody registered a song, or you'll have to pay the $50 or whatever it is to clear a sample through TrackLib. So and then at that point, it's instant. You see what I'm saying? So really, it just depends on how easy that person, or the owner of that piece of music, how easily accessible they are. And that's why I use services that make them easily accessible, because I don't want to sit and wait forever for a sample to clear. I got an album that got to drop, right? So I'm going to go to a site that gives me access to the people that I need to clear the sample with immediately. And I know TrackLib is a place that does that. I know that the Drum Broker, they have so many producers like the homie S1 that's a part of their network, and you can literally go there. They have the contract there. They have the email address. They tell you the terms, and it's right there. And you get that answer up front. You can get that out the way and get back to thinking about getting your album done. As far as the clear sample or song interpolation, either way it goes, you're going to have to drop a chunk off of your money to do it, okay? So it just depends on who the owner of the song is and what their terms are. Song interpolations, yes, you got to drop out for it. I've had to come out for an interpolation before 85% of publishing on an interpolation, guys. So it just really varies. It just depends on the label, the owner of the master, and what they want to do with that body of work. I say that go ahead and attempt to clear the sample, okay? Probably going to be a lot easier and quicker to do, okay? Song interpolation, it could be a little bit more. What do they call it? Red tape? What do they call it when you got to start talking to people with suits and ties on in offices? Whatever that is, song interpolations go a little bit more through them, okay? So, let's go with the song. Let's go with sample clearance, okay? Either way it goes, get you a lawyer. And that's that. If we're done, I want to thank Baker's Gym for having me today, okay? Thank you. Terrence, Hunter, I forgot the brother's name, Charles, thank you for being here and, also being on the camera, all right? I just spit some game. I hope that some of what I said impacts you positively on your journey in music. I want you guys to come back to Maker's Gym to find out more. If you want to learn more, go to the site. Uh, Look me up. I'm at Jah Born on Instagram. You can always hit me up. I'll be at Maker's Gym a lot. Come here on Thursday nights if you want to experience live music with RC and the Grits. The jam session here is amazing, and I want you guys to pull up. This is where it's at. This is where it happens. Just moving forward, I wish all of you young artists well. Just make sure that you are doing your research thoroughly. Make your goals attainable. Okay, guys. We make a lot of times we make a beautiful goal that's beautiful, sounds good, but it's not attainable. Let's do things in steps, guys. Go step by step. Okay. Remember that you have this big, beautiful goal at the end, but we have to go through each step to get there. Just like a video game in stages, and each stage has its challenges. And then at the end of the stage is a challenge, right? Well, knowing that, then you know what you need to do to get on this path and get what you need to get. Much love out to everybody. Maker's Gym, thanks for having me. Big up to my fam out there that tuned in. And stay tuned for the next installment that Maker's Gym brings with the creators. All right? Peace, y'all.